Rachel Rosano from Let Health Flow, and I have a very special guest with me here today, Temple Swift. Temple, welcome and thank you for joining me. I've asked Temple to share her experiences with me with our product called Rain, which is a seed-based nutrition. Now, if you haven't seen any of my other information on this yet, Rain is a nutrient-dense, 100% non-GMO, plant-based seed nutrition. The foundational products of it are called Soul, which is a mega antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and anti-aging, and also Core, which is a high-powered green based supplement that is cellular detoxification and replenishment. It's a really powerful one. Rain is foundationally powered on seeds, and seeds have been shown through science to hold up to 30 times the nutrient value, or even up to 1,000 times the antioxidant value than the plant itself. So pretty amazing information behind seeds themselves. So Temple is here with us today to share a very dramatic and exciting experience that she's personally had with Rain. You know, I feel that sharing stories like this is so important. I'm the type of person, when I'm looking for a product, that I like the science behind it. I look into all of the information that way, but when it comes down to it, it's really what have other people experienced using this product? What are the reviews like? How is it helping other people? So I love to share this type of information. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Temple. Temple, please share your experience that you've had with Rain.
Well, thank you for having me here today, Rachel. It's nice to be working with you and to help as many people as we can. It was sort of my goal to pay it forward when I've discovered such amazing opportunities here with Rain. I started using the product back in 2016 just for my allergies and asthma. I wanted to maintain a medication-free lifestyle because I had happened to be getting off all my asthma and allergy medications, and I wanted to maintain that. And I'd done that through a high antioxidant-rich diet and a previous product where the formulation changed and I went looking for something new. And when I found Rain, it worked. It was keeping me medication-free, which was the point, and in allowing me to just live my normal lifestyle with my allergies and asthma symptom-free. Then in January of 2017, while I was at the hockey arena, because I'm a hockey mom and that's where I'm there 6 nights a week normally, I was standing there and the whole left side of my face went numb, my whole left arm, and I turned to the lady beside me and I said, just in case I fall down, please tell EMS that I feel like I'm having a stroke. So it was very scary. Now it went away in the next hour, and then the next day I was eating lunch, again shoving a huge forkful of salad in my mouth, and it happened again. So I was thinking, well, was this my TMJ joint? What was happening that was creating the numbness on the whole left side of my face and my left arm at the same time? So I went down to Emerge on the 3rd day when it happened, when I just took a sip of juice. And in Emerge, they said I'd had a massive stroke. Well, that was shocking because I was only in my mid-40s and I was super healthy, low blood pressure, low cholesterol, everything was in check. How could I be having a stroke? And it turned out, after doing my first MRI, that it wasn't a stroke. It was actually a brain tumor located right in the center of my forehead. Started off at 19.6 millimeters and it grew to 21.4 within a matter of a month. So the doctors reacted quite quickly, and I was, getting more and more CAT scans and MRIs. I had a brain surgery scheduled for May. Now they weren't going to do the traditional cutting my head off from ear to ear, which was a good news thing. They were instead going to go up my nose in order to get it. Now that seemed still very invasive, and the fact that I have a deviated septum, they were going to have to break my nose in 3 spots. They were going to have to fix my deviated septum and then get my brain tumor. At the time, my husband was living in China. My parents were living in Florida, as they always do, as snowbirds, and I have 2 young children. I had lost my license 3 times in the course of 6 months, based on the fact that I was not only having seizure-like activity based on the brain tumor, but they were worried about me, causing an accident. So I fought each time to get my license back. And I started on the program of 2 Soul and 2 Core a day. And this particular product line I'd already been taking. Now, I wasn't great at taking it every day, 2 packs. I was taking a Sol, then I was taking a Core, and I was kind of back and forth with my allergies, sort of just trying to work it out. It had only been about 4 to 6 months that I've been on the product, and I was just trying to see how much I needed in order to maintain my allergies. But I decided to bump it up to 2 Sol and 2 Core. I didn't start that program though until after I got back from Florida in March break. On March 24th, I started 2 Sol and 2 Core. And this time I was not going to forget, because we were talking about shrinking a brain tumor, and that's what I needed to start doing. So I had my 4th MRI and I had my 5th CAT scan, and I was ready for surgery. But on May 7th, the night before I was having surgery, after I'd flown my parents in from China, my husband back from China, my sister who lives in China, and my parents back from Florida, I was ready for this surgery. Like, I was ready. But the doctor called 7 o'clock at night and he said, Temple, I don't know what you've been doing, but the CAT scan showed you've significantly shrunk the tumor. I was like, how much is significant? And so here is the scan, the MRI, which is my 5th MRI that I had done on June the 23rd. And it showed that the tumor was gone. So not only was it significant, but I completely shrunk it. So I had to wait that month from May 7th to June 23rd. I had to wait to get my 5th MRI. But look at the results that we saw. So in January, you can see the tumor there at 19.6. That's my first one, and that's my last one. Now, I've had many scans since, because 2 out of the 3 guesses was that it could be cancerous, and the 3rd guess was the kind that comes back on various nerve sheets. So the optical nerve, your spinal nerves. So I've been body scanned quite a bit. I just recently, as of 2020, graduated to now every 2 years of scanning, which is exciting. And I've gone on to help 13 other brain tumor survivors either shrink their tumor or allow it to have surgery, or to shrink their tumors completely. Now, everyone is different, and I'm not a doctor, but it feels really good that my story, which is on YouTube, can be shared and we can help other people. So very exciting.
Wow. Yeah, when I had first discovered RAIN and started speaking with you, I was interested already before knowing that story. But then after that story, you told me that, it was just, wow, it's really quite substantial. Now, you have had even more experiences with your family. Could you share some of that information as well?
Yes, I ran into a situation with my littlest guy. He's now 6, but at the time he was a year, and he had been bitten by 50 bugs down in Florida called no-see-ums, or sandflies. Those particular bugs just bit the bottoms of his ankles and his legs as he was playing soccer with my mom outside one dusk evening. And since that opportunity happened to him, he then developed an autoimmune response, or fight or flight, for his skin. And he broke out into spots. And basically they were the size of a nickel, and in some cases a quarter. They were open, crusted over, generally circular, very itchy. So we spent basically from a year and a half until he was 4 or 5 working with him with various doctors. We went to 9 medical doctors, 2 naturopathic doctors, and sick kids. We were referred to the top dermatologists in Ontario for kids. And unfortunately, all of the modalities that they were giving us, including one of the biggest reactions, they kept saying that he had to do bleach baths, which was just disgusting to me, because as a mom, you're told to get all your bleach and chemicals out of your home when you have a baby. You don't want them even crawling on the floor, let alone adding it to their bath. So we had a lot of issues, but we tried different modalities because I was desperate to do anything. At the worst, he had 259 marks on him, and he was afraid of the water. He hated baths because it stung. He was covered in open sores. And the poor thing was also allergic to Band-Aids. So every time you put a Band-Aid on him, he had a square rash all the way around the Band-Aid. So we had him wrapped in this foamy gauze stuff in order to try and cover his marks. Even one Christmas, I had to put candy cane duct tape on him in order to stop him from itching the spots. And duct tape adhesive didn't seem to have an allergic reaction or any kind of reaction at all, other than to hold the sore captivated so he wouldn't open it. Very, very scary situation. until I decided I would sit on the rain sole to warm it up to body temperature. It's in a little packet. I wasn't getting goopy. And I sat on it one evening, and I decided that I was going to put it on him while he was sleeping. Now, the reason I got it to body temperature is because he hated getting sticky. He was the kind of kid that hated stuff on his fingers. He hated being goopy. So I had to do it very discreetly so that I didn't wake him. And if it was cold from the fridge, I would have woken him up. So I warmed it up to body temperature. I put it all over his body. And the next day, I actually saw results. And you can see it's quite gross. In June, we took pictures. I mean, we were worried. He had staph infection on top of it. But by doing this, and then I added him to having one a day. So now he's been taking it. I put it externally to get rid of some of the horrific looking stuff. So it was healing topically. And then I made him have it internally. So he took one sole per day. And you can see from June to July, just the amount of healing that was happening. And then by August, he was into scarring and only. So September, August, he was into the scarring phase only. And since then, he's continued to have only one a day to help him with his sores. Do you have another slide, Rachel? Yeah, so here you see his back of it, the back of him. The one on his lower back had been there for over 6 months. Same spot, same itch. And it was, you know, some dramatic healing there. And that one was I was so relieved when that one was gone. And then there's one more with the shoulder, I think. Yeah, there. So here we also then started, this is a really neat thing. So people say, well, was it really that? Well, that was the only thing I changed. But when you see this slide, you can see the drawings on his back. He actually then decided we would go through more testing through an actual allergist. And we got into, again, one of the top allergists around to do some testing. But he wasn't allowed to have any high antioxidant, high anti-inflammatory like products. So he was not allowed to have any products from Monday, January the 8th to Wednesday, January the 10th. And his spots came back. And I started to freak out because we had got them all gone. And they came back and they were crusting over, and it was looking really bad. And then we got to put him back on it as of Thursday. And from Thursday to Saturday, again, you can see the healing. And we've never not had him take one in a day. And he actually has switched from sole to core now. He had some alopecia issues with his hair loss this fall. And dark greens are really good for that. So we switched him from a sole to a core, and now he loves that one. So he asks for that one more often than the sole. But a high antioxidant, high anti-inflammatory like diet. So, wow. And his hair all grew back within 2 weeks. He had a toonie size bald spot, you know, trying to look like daddy.
Wow, those are so incredible success stories from this product, and I love sharing. I'm so passionate about finding these natural solutions, right? So you don't have to go through. There's a time and a place, don't get me wrong, for everything, but you know, I'm always looking for the natural things, and the power in the seeds is just kind of blowing my mind lately. So wow, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Just
welcome. I often add my older child's story as well. He's a rep hockey player with his concussions, and we've been using the Soul and the Bright from Rain, which is the Rain capsule, to help rebuild. The Soul has the omega-3, 6, and 9, and the Bright. And what we noticed with him, because of his concussions, he was developing the tendencies of an ADHD child, whereas he is not. He can sit and color for hours with his brother. He can sit and do things. He's just not that way. But the concussion was creating him to have restless eye syndrome, and it was creating a kind of a stirring in him where he would get bored very quickly. And then we put him on the Red Soul. Again, he calmed down. The teachers noticed a big difference. And then when the Bright came out, I started adding 1 Bright a day, and we've noticed a big difference in resynapsing the brain and a little bit less dummied down, let's say, from the concussions. So they're very scary. I mean, you only have 1 brain, so let's try and get in as much nutrients as possible.
Okay, I need to learn more about Bright because I don't know a lot about that one yet, and I know people that are suffering with concussions, right now, if that's supportive for that.
Focus and clarity with Bright is incredible. I love it as well. Before I do a lot of the guest speaking in the evenings, because I've had a long day with the kids, and in order to keep me focused and not tangent, Bright has been very effective for me as well as a speaker. So yeah, definitely. Let's go over more Bright. We'll do a segment on Bright for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing all of your personal stories. For anyone out there watching, if you have any questions for myself or for Temple on her experience, please get in touch with me. All of my contact info is on my Facebook page, or you can go to lethealthflow.ca. But in closing, well, thank you very much. I'm Rachel Rossano from Let Health Flow, wishing you a very mindful and healthy day. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Temple.